Hey everyone, today I'm going to steelman the pro-choice statement that babies are better off aborted and then respond to it in my pro-life views. First off, babies born with severe problems are very likely to have a terrible life. They'll have to endure bullying and won't ever be able to be a normal human being. If you can't function as a person, are you really even a person? And what about babies with Down syndrome? Is there really any worthy quality of life there? Babies with disabilities will have to struggle their entire life and may not be able to get into a romantic relationship or get a career. Sometimes it's better not to live at all than go through the pains in life. So pro-choice means that to be a person you must function as one. This means you must be able to walk, have all the senses, and to have a stable mindset. Fair enough? But this isn't necessarily true. Functioning as a human doesn't make you more or less a person. We see normal people everywhere, but there are millions of people who can't function normally. Nick Vukovich was born without any limbs. All he had was one small chicken leg, as he called it, but he did not live an unaccomplished life. He has a wife and 4 kids. He's a Christian evangelist, and he wrote many books and was in many movies and shows. It's incredibly hard living without limbs, but he would not have been better aborted because he was able to accomplish so much and have a family. Another example is Christian Buchanan. He's a little boy who was born without eyes. It's an awful thing, and once a little girl told the mother she was terrible for not aborting him. But Christian is not less valuable because he has no eyes. He was born with an obstacle in his path. Because someone is put at a large disadvantage in a race, does that mean they lose the chance to try and finish the race at all? Another very famous example is Stephen Hawking. He was a British scientist, professor, and author who performed groundbreaking work in physics and cosmology, and whose books helped to make science accessible to everyone. He's especially famous for his teaching and studies on black holes. But when he was 21, he was diagnosed with ALS, a motor neuron disease, which gradually paralyzed him over the years. No, he wasn't born with an immediate illness, but by the logic in this pro-choice argument, it would have been better off for Hawking if he was just killed when he became paralyzed, as his quality of life would have been small. But no, he was not killed, and thankfully so, as he gave lectures by communicating through a device that analyzed the twitches in his cheeks to form it into words. That's ridiculously incredible, and if Hawking was deemed unworthy to live, the world would be living without the scientific influence of him. Think it through. Mental disorders don't take away a person's right to life. Imagine if there's a 10-year-old girl and she was recently diagnosed with ADHD. Does her mother then get to kill her on the spot because that girl's illness makes her much more trouble for her mom now? No, because that's plain murder. And to what level of mental disease do we deem someone unworthy to live? A dyslexic or an anorexic or more? You would have to put a standard on to how stable a person is to deserve to live, and that gets horribly messy. There are also different categories of mental illnesses. Schizophrenia is a psychotic illness, while anorexia is an eating disorder. Which authority decides that a person with schizophrenia has a less quality of life than one with anorexia, and vice versa? My pro-choice side mentioned Down syndrome. I've actually heard this argument a lot when discussing the topic in this video. Down syndrome is a condition in which a child is born with an extra copy of their 21st chromosome. This causes physical and mental developmental delays and disabilities. People with Down syndrome have a distinct facial appearance and intellectual and developmental disability. These children have general anxiety, obsessive-compulsive behaviors, oppositional impulsive and inattentive behaviors, sleep-related difficulties, depression, autism spectrum conditions, and progressive loss of cognitive skills. People born with Down syndrome have a really difficult life. But think it through. Does their difficult life mean they don't deserve life? That they'd be better off killed before they have a chance to do anything in life? It'll be hard for their loved ones to raise them and care for them, but they're still people with unalienable rights, no matter what struggle they're forced to deal with. They still have emotions and thoughts. They are still people, and no one else can morally decide whether or not they are worthy to live. And if we are saying that people with disabilities are better off dead, then what's stopping us from slaughtering someone if they get Alzheimer's or if they become paralyzed? There's a lot of ethics and morals involved with abortion, which is why I stress it so much in all my videos. We do have universally established morals that the general public understand, but abortion has a fun talent in hiding and straying from addressing those morals. It does surprise me how people argue about the value of life in babies with disabilities. I mentioned this in my part 1 of Women's Reasons to Abort Are Justified video, just in different contexts. Our worth isn't determined by our suffering. Yes, there are people who unimaginably struggle with either a mental disorder, a physical illness/handicap, or both. But as medicine is constantly advanced, we can't just give up on the possibility, the strong possibility, that these medical issues can be cured or fixed. Just give them the chance to be more than you thought they were capable of, and give them the chance to be cured. Give them the chance to live. Are people saying if someone has a harder time being normal, are we to ignore them and deem them better dead, or invest in them and help them succeed? People aren't admired because what they do is easy. We admire them because they're persistent. It's inspiring to see people who can't function normally go through experiences of bullying or dealing with their unique problem, and rise above it and decide they won't let their disabilities define them, but their desires. If you think people with disabilities are better off aborted, you're reducing their worth to what they can't do that you can. You're saying their life is useless because they can't be normal, but their life is just as valuable and their character even more so if they choose to ignore the people telling them they're better off dead or aborted and instead use their flaws to their benefits. Thanks for listening, guys. Please leave a comment below with a question or if you want to challenge my thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to support my channel and to see more videos. Thanks!